Would India still believe that they're in this game, even though the lead is 196, Sanjay?
Something that you expect from this Indian bowling lineup, and that has become kind of a feature of India's bowling, is they'll bowl with a lot of heart. And that started with Virat Kohli as captain, no matter what the situation was or how good the pitch was and what his bowling attack was. There was a certain amount of fighting spirit that you saw on the field. And just the way Mohammad Siraj ran in.
Yeah.
And Shardul Thakur will do his thing. So this is a team that won't sag its shoulders or, give up before it's, before the match is over. Work is cut out. There's still the odd ball that's rearing. But for India to make surprise the Australians, I think Jadeja has to come to the party. Can't be just be these three seamers and Umesh Yadav. If Jadeja can chip in with 2 or 3 important wickets, with the DRS now being a great friend of the spinner, then you have a match on hand. But that lead is getting concerningly big.
Yeah, let's talk about the wicket of Warner and Siraj. You talk about fighting spirit, and Siraj epitomizes that more than anyone. So what's he got there? David Warner's test match is effectively over. I think he put 2 across and got Warner to play and miss, and then he's got the nick. So what's happening?
Just the length. The length is much fuller. And I think David Warner is sort of thinking in his mind, anything that's slightly short is going to be playing that cut square on the offside. And Siraj, I thought he bowled pretty well in that first innings too. Shami was the one who was a little shorter, but this time he was much fuller. Tried the bouncer also a bit early. So he's hustling the batters in. But I like the way Usman Khwaja has shaped up. More than Labuschagne, Usman Khwaja just hanging back, playing late. Guys who have hung back, played late, have got runs. The odd ball has troubled him too. Not just guys onto the front foot. Couple of pull shots that he looked really comfortable with. So he's going to be the key wicket in this kind of a situation.
So what are the lessons learned from the India bowlers, and how would you like to see them bowl after what Australia have done? If they are to make anything of this game, their bowlers have to almost have an error-free innings. How would you like to see them bowl in this second innings?
It's actually interesting when you look at all the wickets that fell in this test match, and it's the pitch that we have here. A lot of the batters have been troubled with balls outside the off stump. Wickets have fallen to that line outside the off stump, but despite that, a lot of bowlers, especially couple of Australian bowlers, Pat Cummins, Mitchell Starc, tried to attack the stumps, bowl it full. Now India have to get wickets, but not conceding too many. So my plan would be simple. You've got 3 good seam bowlers, Umesh Yadav too, but get them to just peg away outside the off stump, the line that the Australians used to bowl a lot. People like Glenn McGrath, Alan Border as well, when he had his fast bowlers around, just kept it outside the off stump. Nothing to drive, nothing to clip off the pads. And the great South African side under Kepler versus Hansi Cronje did the same thing. This pitch, I think, is ideal. The wickets are going to come from balls outside the off stump. There's no swing at all. And it's not where, if you bowl a ball on leg stump full, the off stump is going to get knocked off. When you pitch the ball up, it seems a little benign. Everything is around the good length area. Just keep it outside the off stump. The runs won't come as much then. So then get wickets with less runs.
Yeah. Do you expect them to bowl better though in this innings? Because it's a boring thing to do, but it's been the success recipe for so many great bowlers. These bowlers we see at the back of a long IPL season have found it hard to bowl 6 balls in the same place. There's always that one ball that a batter clips his head in, Smith Shaw does, or drives for 4. So is that as easy to do?
I think that is because they are trying to get wickets. The ball that is getting onto the pads is not so much Mohammad Siraj straying or Shami straying. Shami maybe to an extent, but Umesh Yadav has that kind of a weakness where one ball is always a ball that batters can score off. Fatigue is actually a serious issue. You're seeing that with Mohammad Shami already, the way he's running in. There's been a long season that they've come through. Siraj is managing to keep the spirits up and running hard. Umesh Yadav hasn't bowled as much. He's not a spring chicken anymore. So, yeah, that is going to be the test as to how long they keep coming strongly at the Australian batters. Because every time Boland bowled, you could see that he was coming strongly at the batters with the line and leg. That is what India need to replicate, albeit they have some limitations.
Seen, experienced or know of things like that the number 3 is lazing or in leisure and then having to be woken up by the wicket?
See, every batter has to find a different way of preparing to go in, because that is the worst phase. And I'm glad, all that is in the past. You waiting at whatever number and things going on out there, and you're also realizing the importance of the occasion. So many people there, people watching, quality bowling attack out there. So you find a way to relax. I know Tendulkar used to wear his helmet and everything and be ready. Mohammad Azharuddin, for example, would just be sitting like this. And the moment wicket fell, he would just start walking and he would never do this, or there was never limbering up or nothing. Just go there, take stance and get going. Labuschagne, obviously, I don't know whether he does that every time, but there must have been a certain amount of fatigue. I'd like to believe that before the ball was bowled, he was sort of looking at what is happening, and then something happened, and or he was maybe fast asleep. My father, as a rule, and people talk about him, contemporary of his time, he played 53 test matches for India. A lot of people regard he was one of the best Indian batters they saw. His habit was actually going to sleep in the dressing room.
Like proper sleep.
Proper sleep, because he didn't want to know what was going on out there. So that's another way, because sometimes when you're watching and somebody playing poorly, he makes the situation look a little more dangerous or challenging than it is. But some people can be out there and pick out some nuances. Like Tendulkar wanted to know everything that was going on out there. But my father actually, right through his career, had a very good career, just went to sleep in the dressing room and people would then wake him up, batter out. Not on the balcony, inside.
And he played quite a few attacks, some decent attacks at this time.
He was a formidable batter.
So he didn't have the need to want to see how they're bowling, how it's coming on to the bat. Like
and that is the
Tendulkar.
defense mechanism. Anything that will make you less anxious and by nature, as to how you build, just get you to put in your best performance. So he felt, just shut everything out and take it as it comes.
Do you have a personal experience of how you handled it?
Yeah, I liked watching everything that happened.
You still do?
Yeah, I like watching. And the thing again, because we have some tea time chat, Tendulkar, for the genius that he was, prodigious talent he was, he wanted to be sure that he knew everything that was happening. So even when he used to come into bat, I used to bat at number 3, he would be number 4. He would come in and first 5 minutes ask me everything about what was happening. How is this guy bowling? What line is he bowling? And he would actually say he's bowling very good, no? That ball is coming. So he was sort of making things more difficult than...
For you?
For himself in his mind. For himself in his mind. Because I actually faced it. And he would ask me, how is sort of Merv Hughes bowling or McDermott? I said, yeah, but it's looking good, no? But that was his way of trying to not relax, because he had the ability to counter anything. So he was just making sure that he wasn't getting too complacent.
So it kept him alert, charged.
And I used to invariably, I wouldn't give him what he wanted. I said, yeah, he's bowling, okay, but tula ka farak padta. It's like, why do you care? I mean, and he would go out there and start, dominating immediately. So everyone has a different style, but that was a nice little thing to see.
Lovely,
with
wonderful. And you never took a nap, though. You weren't like Labuschagne, that way. You were asleep and someone had to wake you up.
Commentary.
I was going to come to that. In your
before the show
second innings, where the cricketers tend to take more naps now before they have their commentary stint. Or
no, actually, I also am very uncomfortable if I miss a ball. But Matthew Hayden made a nice comment when we had that test match in Ahmedabad, the India-England, India-Australia match.
The last one,
Yeah, that went into a draw, and he said beautifully, like, this is perfect test match cricket that we want to see, because we had those early finishes on ranked turners. He said it was so perfect, quintessential test match, that I also had a nice little nap in the afternoon, 5 minutes. That's proper test cricket.
जिस पे नाम सिर्फ एक का हो,
लेकिन हो पूरे देश के नाम।
उस चीज को हाउ डू आई डिस्क्राइब इट? इस जर्सी के लिए मेरे फीलिंग समझाना इम्पॉसिबल है,
पर इसे पहन के
I feel just one thing, impossible
इज नथिंग।